Want even more Hawaii travel tips for your trip? To celebrate launching our new premium podcast membership, all new members on the free plan get access to bonus episodes released during June and our private Facebook group. If you want even more, like live Q&As, personalized travel help, and live interactive episodes with our guests, paid plans start at just $5 a month. Sign up free at hawaiisbesttravel.com/members or tap the link in the show notes below. I'll see you there. Today I'm sharing the 10 things I wish I would have known before visiting Hawaii. I'm going beyond the typical bring sunscreen, book your flights early, those types of tips, and giving you practical things I personally wish I would have known before visiting Hawaii. And honestly, a few of these I'm still struggling with. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best, the podcast helping travelers plan an unforgettable Hawaii vacation with insider tips and featuring local voices. I'm Brian Murphy, a husband, dad of 3, and certified Hawaii destination expert. Each week I share local insights, travel tips, and up-to-date news, sometimes with guests across Hawaii and sometimes solo, all to help you plan your next trip to Hawaii. Aloha and welcome to Hawaii's Best. I remember my very first trip to Hawaii with my wife, Allie, back in 2007. Newly married and visiting Hawaii, beautiful island of Oahu in Ko'olina area with my in-laws. And I arrived with a bunch of expectations, things I thought I knew about Hawaii going into it. And man, almost 20 years later, I can look back and see how naive I was on some of those expectations. Hawaii is really one of those places that captures your imagination long before you ever step foot on any of its beautiful islands. Maybe you're like me and you picture endless beaches, perfect weather, and maybe a few hula dancers and ukuleles in the background. And while Hawaii is absolutely beautiful and welcoming, there are a lot of things I wish I'd known before my first trip. Things that would have made my experience smoother, more meaningful, and a lot more respectful, I think, to the islands, honestly, and to the people who call Hawaii home, especially the native population. So today, I'm sharing these 10 things, and there's probably a lot more, but specifically these 10 things I narrowed down to what I wish I would have known before visiting Hawaii. These aren't typical, bring your sunscreen, book your flights early. Those are good tips, but these are a little bit more beyond that and are about the cultural insights, local customs, and practical realities that most guidebooks often miss and what most travel agents don't talk about. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more prepared and confident about your Hawaii trip, and you'll know how to get beyond the tourist version of Hawaii to experience something more authentic, which I think is something that we all want. So let's get started with number 1, and that is don't overpack. This is something I still struggle with. I think I'm going to need this. I think I'm going to need that. Maybe it's my ADHD. I don't know. But this tip might sound obvious, but it's a mistake that almost everyone makes on their first trip to Hawaii, or maybe their 30th trip to Hawaii. I see people arrive with 2, 3, 4 giant suitcases packed like they're moving to the islands for a year. But the reality, you're probably going to live in swimwear, shorts, t-shirts, slippers, flip-flops, sandals, however you want to translate that. That's pretty much it. Maybe a light jacket, maybe a sundress, collared shirt for a fancy evening out at Merriman's, who knows. A lot of the other stuff you probably won't touch. Hawaii's dress code is pretty casual and the weather is warm year-round. Most restaurants and venues don't require formal attire. Locals call flip-flops, like I mentioned, slippers, and you'll understand why within your first few hours of being there. You want to leave room in your suitcases for local souvenirs, maybe you might get at a farmer's market. Here's a bonus. Not sure where you're booking your hotel or your vacation rental, but most include a washer and dryer, so you can pack even lighter, especially if you're staying for like 2 weeks. You'll want swimwear, a few casual outfits, a good hat, and comfortable walking shoes for hiking, and maybe even shoes you wouldn't mind destroying because the dirt in Hawaii can stain your shoes red. And that's really all you'll need. So save yourself the hassle and baggage fees and not packing 4 giant suitcases. Number 2, many spots require reservations, especially today in 2025. This one surprises a lot of people. Hawaii used to be a place where you could just show up and explore, but that's changed. Some of the most popular hikes, beaches, attractions require advanced reservations. Places like Diamond Head, Hanauma Bay, Haleakala, Haena State Park on Kauai all require you to book ahead, sometimes weeks in advance. Why? Well, Hawaii's popularity as a vacation destination has led to overcrowding and environmental damage at some of these sites. Reservation systems were put in place to protect the land and improve the experience for everyone. When you do get to your reservation, you'll notice the difference. There'll be usually fewer crowds, more space, and a better chance to actually enjoy the scenery or wherever you're going. As soon as you know your travel dates, start booking those key activities. Don't wait until you're on island, and if you do, you might find yourself missing out or scrambling for backup plans. Planning ahead is key to making the most out of your trip. Number 3, local etiquette for driving. For me, being from Southern California and being familiar with places like LA traffic and being on the defense and looking out for yourself and making sure that you're defensive driving and, 10, 20 miles above the speed limit so you go with the flow of traffic. That is completely different. Driving in Hawaii is different, much more different than driving on the continental U.S. The pace is slower. The roads are often narrow and windy, think Rotohana, and there's a strong emphasis on courtesy, actually thinking about other people. Driving with aloha is a real thing in Hawaii. On scenic roads like Rotohana or highways around the Big Island of Hawaii, it's customary to pull over for faster drivers, usually locals who are getting to and from their day-to-day grind, work or wherever whatever they're doing, is just pull over where you can at a turnout. And if someone lets you pass, give them the shaka. It's a simple way to say thank you and show respect. And another key thing is don't ever honk your horn unless it's an emergency. Hawaii isn't an angry honking place. So be patient, drive slower than you think you need to, and really enjoy the journey and the beautiful scenery as you drive. Number 4, the importance of supporting local. This is something I've learned just recently. I think I say recently, probably within the last 7 years, 5-7 years. But one of the best ways to experience Hawaii is through its local businesses. Farmers markets, food trucks, and small shops offer authentic flavors and unique finds you won't get anywhere else at like a chain restaurant or big box stores. And when you spend your money at local businesses, more of that money stays within the community of Hawaii, supporting families and preserving traditions. Hawaii's food truck culture is legendary, has some of the best food on island. No matter what island you're visiting, you'll find real poke made with locally caught fish, malasadas from family recipes, and plate lunches that reflect the island's multicultural history. Farmers markets are a great place to try fresh tropical fruits, Kona coffee, and locally grown taro. Also, look for the made in Hawaii or grown in Hawaii labels. And don't be afraid to ask locals where they eat or shop. The best recommendations usually come from people who live there year-round. One thing to keep in mind is that supporting local isn't just about getting better food or souvenirs. It's really about helping the local community thrive as well. Number 5, this was a big one for me, but Hawaii is more than Waikiki being on the island of Oahu. Waikiki is iconic, and there's nothing wrong with spending some time there. But if that's all you see, you're definitely missing out on what makes Hawaii truly special. Each island has its own personality and hidden gems that most tourists never discover. Even on Oahu, where Waikiki is located, you can drive about 30 minutes and find yourself in a completely different world. Quiet beaches, lush valleys, and small towns where life moves at a different place than the busy streets of Waikiki. Hawaii Island, the Big Island, has active volcanoes and black sand beaches, Kauai is known for its dramatic cliffs and rainforests, and Maui offers local luxury in the famous Rotohana and Haleakala. Many locals don't spend their days in Waikiki. They have their own favorite beaches, restaurants, and hiking spots. So venture out beyond the tourist hubs, and you'll find places that feel more authentic, less crowded, and often more beautiful than the famous spots everyone talks about on Waikiki Beach. Number 6, every island is unique. This is something that's mentioned in guidebooks, but it's often kind of glossed over. Over 6 of Hawaii's 8 main islands are open to visitors, and each one is distinct and has its own personality. The Big Island is all about volcanic landscapes and adventure. It's wide, it's big, it's spread out. Kauai is lush and beautiful, perfect for nature lovers or people who just want to have a quieter time visiting Hawaii. Maui has a mix of luxury and laid-back charm. Oahu is most known for urban with a blend of city life and surf culture, but it also has some country as well. Lanai and Molokai are quieter, offering a glimpse into old Hawaii. But don't try to see them all in one trip. It can be tempting, but you'll spend more time in airports than actually experiencing the island. So pick 1 or 2 islands, depending on how long your trip is, and really get to know them. Each island takes days to explore properly. What you love about one might not exist on the other. Number 7 is respect the culture. Hawaii has a rich indigenous culture that predates tourism by centuries. Learning a few basic Hawaiian words like aloha, mahalo, and kapu shows respect and shows that you've taken initiative to at least learn some about the culture that you're visiting. It's also important to follow posted signs at sacred sites, hiking trails. Many places in Hawaii are considered sacred by Native Hawaiians, and you'll see signs explaining their significance. Never take lava rocks or sand as souvenirs. It's illegal and is considered deeply disrespectful. There are even stories of people mailing rocks back to Hawaii because they believe they've taken something and it's brought them bad luck, the curse of Pele, as some people think it is. The Malama Hawaii initiative encourages visitors to give back through volunteer work, beach cleanups, and supporting local conservation efforts. So consider participating in these programs during your visit. This is something that Allie and we've done before, and it really has deepened our love for Hawaii and its land, working with some of the locals in helping to care for the land. Number 8 is something that I'm still learning, honestly, and it's something that I didn't really have a good understanding of visiting my first time, and that is understanding Hawaii's history and its complex relationship with tourism. Hawaii's history has deep roots in indigenous Polynesian culture and a sometimes difficult relationship with tourism and outside influence. The Hawaiian Kingdom was overthrown in 1893 and annexed by the United States in 1898 and became a state in 1959. So understanding this history helps you appreciate the culture and political complexities that still exist today. Tourism is Hawaii's still largest industry, contributing billions to the state's economy and providing jobs for many residents. But this success comes with its challenges. Many native Hawaiians and longtime residents feel that tourism has contributed to the rising of housing costs, environmental degradation, and the loss of traditional ways of life. Some popular areas have become so crowded that locals avoid them entirely. Some locals embrace tourism because it provides jobs and economic opportunities, while others feel the islands are being loved to death with too many visitors, causing strain on infrastructure, natural resources, and local communities. So understanding this dynamic doesn't mean you shouldn't visit Hawaii. It means you should visit thoughtfully, support local businesses, respect the environment, learn about the culture, and consider how your presence affects the place you're visiting. This awareness adds depth to your visit and helps you travel more responsibly. You're not just a tourist consuming an experience, but you're a visitor. And that's why I like to use the word visitor more than tourist. A visitor is that you're understanding the complex relationship between tourism and the place you're exploring. All right, number 9, the aloha spirit is real, but not to be taken for granted. The aloha spirit has become a catchy phrase, but it's more than just marketing. It's a real living value in Hawaii. It's about kindness, patience, and genuine respect. In fact, the aloha spirit is written into Hawaii state law as a guiding principle for how people should treat one another. But here's the thing to consider is that the aloha spirit isn't automatic. You don't just get it because you bought a plane ticket to Hawaii. It's something you participate in. It's about approaching every interaction with humility and openness and recognizing that you're a guest in someone else's home. So when you show this genuine respect and patience, locals often respond with incredible warmth and generosity, though I know that there are some cases that hasn't happened. But it's something that I've experienced firsthand is that coming with a humble spirit, you'll get to know more about the islands. For example, as you're in conversation with locals, they might share their favorite spots, give directions or recommend a hidden gem of a restaurant. But entitlement kills the aloha spirit so fast, acting like locals owe you something, being impatient, or treating Hawaii like your personal playground creates tension and really closes doors. The aloha spirit works both ways. If you give respect, you usually will get respect back. Even if you don't, just keep at it. Everyone is human. If you approach situations with kindness and understanding, that's often what you'll receive in return. But it's not just about being polite just to get what you want. It's about recognizing that Hawaii isn't just a vacation destination. It's home to real people with real lives, real jobs, real families, real communities. All right, and number 10, this is actually a big one that I had no idea about before my first visit, is that each island has its own microclimates. One of the most surprising things about Hawaii is how quickly the weather can change. You might experience sunshine, rain, and wind all in the same day, sometimes just a few miles apart. The Big Island, for example, has 10 of the world's 14 climate zones. So you can be on a sunny beach in the morning and then cool and snowy maybe in the afternoon up on Mauna Kea. On Kauai, it might be pouring rain in Hanalei, while Poipu is sunny and dry. On Oahu, it might be rainy in the Ko'olau Mountains, while Waikiki is perfectly clear. Or the west side in Ko'olina, Kapolei area is dry and sunny. This happens often because of Hawaii's unique geography. Its mountains create rain shadows, trade winds, bring moisture to certain areas, and elevation changes everything. But don't let a rainy forecast discourage you. Often, you can drive to another part of the island and find completely different weather, like the Hanalei and Poipu example on Kauai. So pack for this reality. Always have a light rain jacket, bring layers because temperatures can change with elevation. And don't forget the sunscreen because even on cloudy days, the UV rays can be strong. But the microclimates are actually part of what makes Hawaii special. You can experience multiple environments in a single day, but just be aware and be prepared for it. All right, so let's quickly recap the 10 things that I wish I would have known before visiting Hawaii. That would be don't overpack. Number 2, many spots require reservations. Number 3, learn local driving etiquette. Number 4, support local businesses and farmers markets, food trucks. Number 5, Hawaii is more than Waikiki. Number 6, every island is unique. Number 7, respect Hawaiian culture by learning basic words and following posted signs. Number 8, understand Hawaii's complex history and relationship with tourism. Number 9, the aloha spirit is real, but requires your participation as well. And number 10, the islands have dramatic microclimates, so pack accordingly and stay flexible. Really, my goal with this isn't to overwhelm you with all these things that I wish I would have known, but part of visiting Hawaii is learning some of these on your own as well, but having these in your back pocket to be aware of prior to visiting can make your first or your 10th time to the islands be more meaningful, respectful, and have an incredible experience in Hawaii. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of this episode. If you found it helpful, go ahead and hit follow if you're not already following on Apple or Spotify. That really just helps me be able to create more episodes like this and sharing my love of Hawaii with you as we all strive to travel to Hawaii with aloha. And until next time, as always, live with aloha. Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, hit follow on your podcast app. Hawaii's Best is a production of Shorebreak Media Group with editing by Easy Podcast Solutions and music courtesy of our friends Stick Figure.